What you are seeing here are historic depictions of the Schäfflertanz, postcards, engravings, and prints from the 19th and early 20th century. They show the dance as it was remembered, preserved and ritualized long before modern tourism. This isn't folklore invented later, it was already considered heritage by 1900. So what is the Schäfflertanz? The Schäfflertanz is a guild dance of the Schäfflers or coopers, who are the barrel makers. Barrels were essential to city life. They stored beer, wine, grain, salt and food. The Schäffler were practical and visible craftsmen and were always moving throughout the city. According to legend, the Schäfflertanz dates back to 1517 during a devastating outbreak of the plague in Munich. Fear had spread to the city and people stayed inside their homes, terrified of the Black Death which had made a resurgence. The streets were empty for weeks. Apart from the gravediggers, no one dared to go outside. Even after the plague appeared to end, fear remained and people would not leave their homes. According to legend, a group of Schäfflers decided to act, not with mourning or with warnings, but with joy, music and movement. So they danced to the streets with barrels, hoops and hammers. They played lively music which echoed through the empty streets. A round dance filled the streets with colour and rhythm, and slowly people came outside, and soon the city was laughing and gathering again. And after the Schäffler had finished their dance, the butcher's apprentices jumped into the Fischbrunnen, which is the fish fountain in the square in the centre of music in Marienplatz. This jump symbolised that air and water were clean again, and this ritual is still known today as the Metzgersprung, Metzger being the German word for butcher. So together, Schäffler and butchers are symbolised as the return of everyday life. Historically, the earliest written record of the Schäfflertanz dates back to 1702, and a regular 7-year cycle is documented from around 1760. Whether the dance actually truly began in 1517 or later, its meaning actually never changed. It was about restoring confidence, rebuilding trust, and bringing back people into shared spaces. Why is it only every 7 years? The Schäfflertanz is traditionally performed only every 7 years. It normally takes place during Fasching, which is the carnival season between Epiphany, the 6th of January, and Shrove Tuesday, usually around the middle of February. This is intentional and not entertainment, but it's part of the ritual, and the rarity keeps the meaning intact. The number 7 is also seen as a magical number, often seen in fairy tales and folk stories, but its true origin of why every 7 years cannot be confirmed. If you look closely, it's depicted across the city of Munich. There's the Schäffler-Eck, the Wurm-Eck, and, of course, the Glockenspiel of the Neues Rathaus, the new town hall. This is where you see the dancing men when the Glockenspiel goes off at 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. every single day in Marienplatz. The famous dancing men in the Glockenspiel are actually the Schäffler, and the city tells a story every day, even when no one is watching. Now, I didn't even know this until 2 weeks ago, when my little guy learned it in school, and the Schäffler came to dance with them in their school, which was incredible. So you can be in a city for over 20 years and still find out about its history. Traditionally, the Schäfflertanz never breaks its cycle. There have been no documents of it not taking place, even during wars and any kind of uprisings. Not that there have really been any uprisings in Munich, but it's always taken place every 7 years. But in May 2022, Munich did make a rare exception. The dance was performed outside Fasching and outside the 7-year rhythm. It was in May 2022, and it was marked the moment when COVID was officially considered over in Germany. So this was the new Black Death in many ways, the new plague that plagued the world and obviously Germany and Munich as well. And they're celebrated in the same way when it came to an end, which is quite telling in many ways, really. The core meaning is, though, that the Schäfflertanz is not about the plague, it's not about disease, death or illness. It is about what comes after. It's the moment when fear loosens its grip, when people dare to step outside again, and when community finally returns. As I mentioned, my little guy, he got to see them at his school last week when they came to perform for them, and he taught me all about the history and all about their dancing. And they were performing across the schools in the city, and they're actually performing from Epiphany, so they have been since the 6th of January, until Fasching, which is the middle of February, so Shrove Tuesday, Pancake Day to some people, is the last day they perform, and they do about 10 a day, maybe even more, so they travel from square to square around the city. And I got to see them last weekend at Marienplatz, where it all started, where they're already dancing every day at the Glockenspiel. So it was wonderful to see them, and it was so great to see this tradition alive, the music, the dancing, and even the little jesters that you see. They go around the crowd and they put soot on your nose, and if you're lucky enough to get the soot on your nose, then it will bring you good luck and health for the future. And I was lucky to get some soot, lucky me. I didn't get the best footage because it was terribly crowded and I didn't arrive in time really to stand at the front, but it was still wonderful to see them and something so brilliant, especially because it only takes place every 7 years. So it's 2026 and the next one will take place in 2033, I believe, which is quite a long way away. So here we go. It was really a wonderful thing to see.
Vor über 500 Jahren, ein Städtchen unter München war, da kam die Pest als grimmer Gast und raffte wohl ein Drittel fast der braven Bürgerschar dahin. So steht es in der Chronik drin. Die ganze Stadt war öd und leer, es stockten Handel und Verkehr. Es blieb ein jeder still zu Haus und Trauer war und Not und Graus. Da bracht die wackere Schäfflertanz die Leute wieder zur Vernunft. Denn junge Burschen, frisch und keck, die noch das Herz am rechten Fleck, die zogen da mit Fass und Kranz von ihrer Herberg aus zum Tanz. Dass sie's getan, das war wohl gut, die Bürger fassten neuen Mut und überwanden Sorg und Not, die ihnen bracht der schwarze Tod. Der schöne Brauch vom alten Schlag, ein Sinnbild ist's für unsere Tag. Wie traf die Pest die Stadt so hart, wie eng war Not und Leid gepaart. Und wie hat Mut und frische Kraft an ihrem Aufbau schon geschafft. So grüßen wir den alten Brauch, der heute noch geübt wird auch und den uns alle 7 Jahre aufs Neue zeigt, die Schäffler-Schar. Mögt ihre Kunst noch lange blühen. Wie aus Buchs die Grenzlein grün verwelken nicht. In ernster Zeit schenkt sie uns frohe Heiterkeit. Sind wieder 7 Jahre vorbei, ersteht der Brauch uns wieder neu. In München wie in alter Zeit, zu seiner Bürger Lust und Freud.
So 500 years ago, they danced people back into the streets, and somehow they still do, because it was busy, it was full despite being cold, and it was wonderful.